The Los Angeles Dodgers are planning something huge as they still look to address their biggest issue, which is the bullpen heading into next season. And one name in specific has continued to come out. We're going to be breaking it down, going over how this is going to affect the current Dodgers bullpen, as well as who is going to return to this lineup next season. We have a lot to touch on in today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Before we do jump into it, though, I ask you one favor. That's if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel. We're covering everything Dodgers, and we have so much stuff to cover as free agency is now open. You're going to want to stick around to the end of the video as well, as we do have a few more updates regarding this roster. But we need to get straight into this. And like I said, as we know, the Dodgers' biggest issue is really the corner outfielders as well as the bullpen. The bullpen now does have some stuff that will help them along the way, which includes a few returns from the injured list. However, they still don't have that it factor in the bullpen. With recent reports coming out, Edwin Diaz has been continued to be linked more and more to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And first, starting out with this, Major League Baseball analyst Jim Riley predicted the Dodgers would target Mets superstar closer Edwin Diaz, who is set to opt out of his $102 million contract at the end of another stellar season. Now, this was one of the first reports that did come out surrounding this, and he did indeed opt out, but this is when it all really sparked, with Edwin Diaz becoming an available option for this Dodgers team. I made a video before about Robert Suarez, that is, in the bullpen. He is an option that was a little more in the midst of just around every team, not so much a top target, but Edwin Diaz tops list by far. And I saw a lot of you guys in the comments below really favor Edwin Diaz in this option. Now, there are a few things that really go back and forth on Edwin Diaz, his availability, how the Dodgers would have to go about doing it, but we're not surprised by what Edwin Diaz has done over the past few seasons. And I mean, by just simply looking at what he's done across the MLB, his savant, he is one of, if not the best closer in the MLB over the past couple of seasons. And we can really remember what he did, not this most recent season, but the season before in 2024. He really wasn't great. There's no surprise by that. I mean, still, you're looking at a 3.52 ERA. That is still a pretty solid ERA for a closer. That would be an average player. But with 2022 and 2025 both being years that we saw him be the best he possibly was, this year not coming off an injury, this year having that last year to go off of, he is exactly what the Dodgers would need. And I feel like that's something that's very easy to say with a lot of elite closers, but a guy like Edwin Diaz who throws gas, 2 pitches, the fastball, the slider, and still nobody can hit those pitches. He's what the Dodgers are looking for in terms of that. And at 31 years old, he's got a lot of play left. Now, there are a few concerns that a lot of Dodgers fans do have, and it really all does come down with what happened with Tanner Scott. Having him be paid quite a bit of money and ultimately coming down to not being what this team had really hoped he would be. There is a different level to Edwin Diaz, and when it comes down to his, production over this, the efficiency that he has, the trust that a team like the Mets in this instance have in him to close out games, he brings that to another level. And although Tanner Scott, we can expect him to bounce back, we can expect everybody that was, struggling in this bullpen to bounce back next season after another offseason that's going to come. We have to hope, and we have to really get ready for if they do not. And as I said, we can assume they will. We can really predict and do anything. But you need to have someone that you can trust going into this. And Edwin Diaz, in my opinion, features all of that. And as being one of, if not the highest paid, and actually would be the highest paid via market value reliever closer in the MLB at $18.3 million AAV, this would be around a 4 to 5 year deal. And, going off that 5-year deal that he most recently signed, it would likely be less than that. Being 31 years old, you want to make sure that you can get him going. And there's a lot of people saying, once again, the Tanner Scott having another closer that's going to be paid quite a bit of money, more than what we've seen from Tanner Scott. There's a lot of kind of speculation surrounding that, but like we've been mentioning and like we've been speaking about here on the channel, this is the opportunity the Dodgers have to go for it all. And like what Alden Gonzalez had to say, the Dodgers are expected to aggressively pursue a closer and a right-handed late inning arm this off season. So when it does come down to it, and when things do play out for the Dodgers bullpen next season, there's a look that you could see Tanner Scott be a late inning, Edwin Diaz jump in as a closer, a lot of options surrounding that with a lot of players returning from the IL. And we're going to jump into that here in a moment, but let's not forget how important Edwin Diaz was to the Mets and how much that can translate to a team like the Dodgers, who really didn't get that in the regular season last year. We saw it in the postseason with Roki Sasaki, but when you look at how his game would translate to a Dodgers regular season, then to the postseason, they would be given so many options without having anything concrete or needing anything to be concrete. They could really work around what they have at a significant level. And going into how the projections for him are across the MLB, there's a lot of up and down whether the Dodgers will or will not target him. There's a lot of things going on with this one from MLB.com here, being Mets, Orioles, Yankees. You go from that, then you see this one once again from a walk-off here from Bleacher Report, going off Edwin Diaz's top landing spots from Kerry Miller. Mets 1, Dodgers 2. Then we go back to the original one that I showed, the Dodgers being the one who are predicted to get him. There's so much up and down here with a lot of speculation the Dodgers will or will not be targeting a pitcher or a reliever and a closer as their main targets here in this offseason. But with Alden Gonzalez coming out once again saying this, that they will still check in on Skubal, still check in on Tucker, but projected to be the secondary option with the Dodgers going to be aggressive. This to me says that their top priority will be an Edwin Diaz, will be a Robert Suarez, will be whatever the best option they can get out of that group of pitchers will be. And I fully believe, and I fully, am confident that this Dodgers team are going to be able to pull in one of these biggest closing pitching targets. And I really think Edwin Diaz is that guy that they can go ahead here and do it with, especially with what we've seen. The win percentage, as a closer as well, that is important when he does come into tied games, having that ability to continue and close out these. A 0.874 whip, a 1.63 ERA. He has been the best closer, and I will still argue over the past couple of seasons, 3 seasons that he has played outside of the injury, even in that year that he was not at his best. But it's been proven that he can bounce back to that level, and with the Dodgers, having that ability to have him there certainly fills what this void the Dodgers have is. And going into it as well, once the Dodgers are over the luxury tax, this is another thing that a lot of people are really questioning going into it, that they would have to forfeit their 2nd and 5th highest picks, along with $1 million international pool, but the Dodgers have shown no price is too high to continue their dynasty. And once again, I feel like I'm a broken record saying this with Alden Gonzalez saying they're going to be aggressive, but as well, what me and Jace have been talking about. There is 1 year left before they can potentially see a lockout, before things may change. The Dodgers want to go for the 3-peat, and we want them to see them go for the 3-peat. This is the option they have to do it, and this is certainly that next level thing that will bring them to that, is an elite closer with a lot of these pitchers as well set to return. And with the injuries that we've seen across this team as of late, a lot of pitching. Of course, Gavin Stone, River Ryan returning, Michael Grove, Brusdar Graterol, most importantly, I would say kind of at a lower level, but a sneaky good option for him being back in this bullpen expected next year. That will be another bonus to throw out there for a lot of these options. So with a lot of this happening, Tony Gonsolin being gone, which of course, unfortunate, sad to see him go, DFA, deal with injuries, but a legend with the Dodgers. There's more room in this bullpen now than ever, and they are ready to go ahead and make things happen. So let me know what you think about that, and mainly what I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Do you want the Dodgers to sign Edwin Diaz? Why for yes, and for no? I want to see it in the comments below. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. The same as, like I said, with Robert Suarez. A bigger option here, a better option here, and one I think the Dodgers will certainly be going all in on. So, like I said, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Tony Gonsolin being DFA'd. And one more note before we do finish the video off. Today, officially, Munetaka Murakami was ready to go to the MLB. He's been placed on that list and is now ready to sign a team with a team in the MLB, excuse me. So, let me know with everything that we have here in today's videos, specifically for this one, though, about Edwin Diaz. Once again, Y for yes and for no. Let me know what you think. But that is all I have here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.